All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's time. We've done several takes of this, but it is officially time to begin my review for the Japanese horror film Ringu. Ringu is a review, ladies and gentlemen, I have wanted to do for several years now. I've talked about it on Twitter. I have talked about it pretty much everywhere you can think of. And at the time of this posting, I am not really even using my YouTube channel anymore. The YouTube channel is officially dead. I've started doing things on Odyssey, and Odyssey, I want to start things new. I have the videos backed up on Odyssey, but I'm going to make a new channel dedicated to reviews like this. For all those that still know who I am, my name is LP Pigman 9999, and for a long time now, I have made Let's Plays and shit on YouTube under that channel, or under Pigman the One, and Jander's Game Shed, and Otaku Gaming, and a bunch of other names. But I've been doing all these fucking Let's Plays, but what I've always really loved and always wanted to do are reviews. So, today, we are starting my review for the Japanese horror film, Ringu. Ringu is the first in the Ring series. It's based off a novel that I own, and I've only read a little bit of it, but it is good. I want to get back to reading and read that specifically. Maybe later tonight I'm going to do that. But anyways, the whole thing is, Ringu's a pretty scary film. And it's kind of hard to explain why, but I'm going to do my best in this review, guys, to explain this to you. So, here's the thing. Ringu starts really ambiguously. I'm not going to give you the whole plot detail, but just kind of give you a little snippet. So, like, okay, you have a really ambiguous beginning. It's just these two girls watching. You see, like, this dark ocean, this dark wave. Not Dark Water, that's a different movie, made by the same person, actually, believe it or not. Not Dark Water, but there is Dark Water here. And, like, the thing is, it's just kind of this big, long, drawn-out setup. And, you know, lots of horror movies do shit like this, you know. A big, drawn-out setup. Oh, this is how the murders begin. This is how the victim starts. And, you know, there's kind of this murder mystery kind of angle to the movie. Because the main character, Asakawa, I think her name is. Anyway, she's like a reporter. She's a reporter for, like, this local news station. And this local news station is just obsessed with this murder, this tape video media cursed video murder spree that keeps going on. And basically the whole basis, and this isn't a spoiler because literally they explain this at the beginning of the movie, it's an urban legend about this girl named Sadako. And Sadako died in this well years ago, and basically her secrets and her family secrets are on this cursed videotape. And yes, in this case it is on a VHS tape, which would not probably happen anymore, but this is 1998, so you gotta take some historical, you know, privileges there, you know. Today it would have been a DVD or a Blu-ray or I don't even know what the fuck you would do today. We don't even use DVDs and Blu-rays that much anymore. I mean, I do, but I mean, generally people just stream shit now. I mean, well, what the fuck do you curse now? A whole fucking TV? I don't know. Anyways, it doesn't really matter. But in 1998, in Ringu, in 91, I think that's when the book was written. The book was written in 91, and then this film came out in 98. But in the film and in the book, it's all about this cursed VHS tape. And the cursed VHS tape gets spread around, and there's like lots of people dying like every week or so. Like there's like these people at this like campground. And this campground was like kind of the birthplace for all this for all these murders to start up again. It had been going on since like the 50s or 60s. That's when the curse, the backstory of the curse happens. And I think that's when Ringu Zero takes place in like the 50s or 60s or something like that. I don't know when Ringu takes place. I think it's the 80s. And then Ringu 2 is maybe like the 70s. I don't know. Or no, I guess Ringu 2 would be like 90s. I don't know. Something like that. Anyways. The premise is simple. The premise of Ringu is really just this curse that lasts every week. You get a phone call. If you had watched the video all the way to the end, you'll get a phone call warning you that you have 1 week to spread the curse or cast the curse or whatever to another person, and that another person will be cursed, and then that person has to spread it to another person and another person and another, and before you know it, everyone's cursed. Everyone's probably dead, and it's just like a handful of people that happen to pass it off, and then you know who the ones who did it, because they'll be the only ones left alive in this little place. And I guess eventually it would theoretically consume the whole planet or something. I don't know. I mean, it's not like the curse really has a plan. It's not like this curse, planned this all out. It's just a curse, it's there. And it's like fucking Death Note, like when the Death Note comes to Earth, it's not like, there was some big fucking plan. It's just what happens, and I guess we'll enjoy the show with all the fucking Shinigami later. And so the main character, Asakawa, she's a single mom. She has a kid. She had a husband, and that was the dad, but the dad's kind of like this university professor. He's not really involved in their lives anymore. His name's Ryuji. Ryuji's really cool, by the way. He's a really cool character. I like him a lot. He's probably my favorite character in the whole series. And he does come back in the subsequent films too, but more. I don't want to spoil that shit, but he's there. He's a big character. And of course, Sadako, but of course, Asakawa, being kind of the journalist, the news reporter, has to find out what's going on and traces the source to this campground. And I can't remember, but she finds a picture of some kind, and like that's how she gets led there. Of course, she decides to watch the freaking cursed video. How does she get the cursed video? Well, fuck if I remember. I think she goes to like this little rundown motel and then freaking goes into the room where the tape is or something. I don't know. And it's not even the real one. It's a copy where she copies it later. I don't know. There's a bunch of copies of this thing. That's the kind of a plot twist later on that, there's a bunch of copies. Which is the real one? Do we destroy the original one? Do we destroy the copy? Which one do we need? Do we need the copy or the original? And of course, Ryuji somehow ends up tagging along, and then before you know it, they're all watching this cursed video, and they got like a week to figure this shit out and end the curse. And yeah, that's kind of the big driving plot of Ringu. Bunch of shit happens. They go to this island where Sadako's mom was, and the whole backstory behind the curse is that she was supposed to be this great seer, like this person who was supposed to, this doctor, who I guess was Sadako's dad, and or kind of not a strange husband, but something like that, I guess. And then no one wants to talk about her there. They go all the way to this boat, and they go it's like a terrible storm when they're going, or it's a terrible storm when they're trying to go back, something like that. And then they just spend all this time on this rundown little inn on this island where Sadako lived like 50 years ago, or 30 years ago, something like that. And basically, she's proven to be a fraud back in the day, Sadako's mom. She basically, this doctor was trying to present her as this like great seer who has secret powers. She has like secret mystical powers, but in reality, it's actually I guess Sadako or something, or maybe they both have secret powers, but Sadako's the dangerous one. And yeah, there's a big backstory. You find more about that shit in Ringu 2, which I just watched again. Just like I said, just watched recently. Definitely watch that one. Ringu 2 is really good. And that's really the reason you watch this movie. It's not really about the jump scares. This isn't a jump scare movie. This isn't about, ooh, Sadako's gonna pop in my face and scare me, and I'm gonna be scared shitless for 2 weeks. No, it's not about that. It's really about this psychological kind of tension and the mystery of like, can they remove the curse? It's not really a typical horror movie in that sense. It's more like The Omen. If any of you have ever seen The Omen, I gotta make a review of that film someday because it's one of my favorite movies too. I love the Ringu and I love The Omen. So that's the basic plot. I kind of gave away a decent amount. I think you guys can kind of figure out based on that whether you'd like the movie or not. So let's talk about the more important things. First of all, the music. Creepy, but again, creepy in kind of like a backwards kind of way. It's got like these, the typical kind of horror kind of creepiness, the creepiness that horror movie film scores always have. Ringu definitely has those undertones in the music, without a doubt. It has the crazy shit, but it's also got some really nice melodies and piano, and also there's a really good guitar theme in the DVD menu, not the Blu-ray one, but the DVD menu. I remember has a really good kind of guitar score, and I can never find it. I've listened and watched a bunch of the sounds, the OST clips on YouTube, but I can never find that one particular one with the guitar. which is really good. And maybe my memory's playing tricks on me. Maybe it was never guitar. Maybe it was piano too. I don't know. I remember it being guitar in the original DVD intro. The music, especially track 2, A Dissonant Spirit. Yeah, A Dissonant Split. Ah, that's what it is. Okay, A Dissonant Split. Really good. It's what I'm listening to right now as I'm making this review for you guys. It's seriously, dude. This track is really good. It's beautiful, but then it kind of descends into kind of the, you know, the horror motifs. But it starts out really beautifully, so you gotta give it some credit. But yeah, Kenji Kawai made this score, and it's without a doubt fucking beautiful and scary all at the same time. I do kind of compare it to Silent Hill's score a bit by Akira Yamaoka. Of course, the famous first Silent Hill by Konami on PS1. Classic fucking game. If there's a game review I ever gotta make, man, that's the one. I know more shit about Silent Hill 1 than probably anyone else I know. And I don't know a lot of people, but still, I am a Silent Hill 1 expert. I will freely make that comment and that honor of myself. I don't know if that's an honor, whatever. I don't care. There's Silent Hill 2 fanatics, and I'm a Silent Hill 1 fanatic, so you know what? I love Silent Hill 2, but I'm not as crazy about it, you know? But obviously, as good as the soundtrack is, and props to Kenji Kawai, because he made a fucking phenomenal one, it doesn't stand... A film like this would not work unless the acting was really good, and the acting is very fucking good. I gotta look up the actors' names here. Okay, let's look at all the actors and the characters. Okay, so the main character, Reiko Asakawa. Everyone calls her Asakawa, but her main name's Reiko. And she was played by Nanako Matsushima. She did really good because, like, her character is not really outgoing. She's kind of a quiet character, you know what I mean? Like, she doesn't have a, she definitely seems, you know, disturbed by her past, and she is. But, like, the thing is, all she really cares about is her kid. And her kid, where's the kid? Yeah, Yoichi. Yoichi's her son, and the kid, he's a kid in the film, but the actor's name is Rikio Taka. I didn't even remember that. But yeah. The kid does he does a really good job actually as the kid. And you know, normally in a horror movie, you don't think much of the kid character. I mean, you're like, who gives a shit? The kid dies. You actually care about the kid here. Like, he actually is a good character, mostly because he's just kind of nonchalant about everything. Like, he says really kind of blunt stuff, you know, like when he talks about, like, one of the other characters that died early in the film, Masami, who was played by Hitomi Sato. I think that was the cousin who died, or maybe it's a different character. Or no, it's Yuko, maybe. I don't know. No, yeah, okay, now I got it. It's Tomoko, and that was the cousin, I think, and that she died, and her actor's name was Yuko Takeuchi. So I think Masami was like the friend of her who didn't die, but like she witnessed all the crazy shit that happened, and she's like really mentally scarred. And then of course I talked about Ryuji. He's played by Hiroyuki Sanada. Great fucking actor, dude. He's done obviously a lot of other stuff too, but I know him basically for the Ringu movies. And that's really all that's the important actors. There's also a character called Miki, called Mai. Yeah, Mai Takano. I think that's the assistant to Ryuji. She's important, but she's more important in the subsequent movies. But she does play a role towards the later half of the movie, and she was played by Miki Nakatani. And that's the main characters, along with the most famous, which is Sadako Yamamura, and she was played by Not sure if I pronounced that right, but you know who I'm talking about if you look it up. But yeah, all those characters, of course, including Sadako, but Sadako becomes obviously more important as the movie progresses. In a downward spiral, no pun intended. Actually, that was quite an intended pun, to be honest with you. But no, it's like, this film is like, what now? 22 years old. It's a really old movie, man. Not the oldest. I've watched older movies. Hell, I've watched fucking movies from the fucking 20s. No joke. I watched an old 20s kind of black and white silent film It was about Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. I doubt any of you have ever seen that movie. I just had this huge horror bundle of old movies, and it was in it. It was a good movie, actually, surprisingly. You wouldn't expect to like a silent movie, but that was a good fucking movie. And, you know, that's kind of all I had to say about the main movie. The rest is pretty self-explanatory, but I feel the need to say it anyway, so I will. The legacy of Ringu is basically what I've been saying this whole fucking review. It's a great fucking movie. Every movie I've seen in the series is good. I've watched the main movie, I've watched Spirals, and I've watched Ringu 2. All three of which are really fucking good movies, guys. So definitely recommend all three of those movies. I have a big Blu-ray pack of all the Ringu movies. The only one I haven't watched in it is Ringu 0, which I do plan on watching with my sister again soon. Me and her really love those movies. I love them. Maybe I've made her like them. I don't know. I hope she likes them. I don't know. But yeah, it also kind of ties into the fact that, you know, Japanese horror just has a really cool kind of element to it, which I really like. And yeah, you could argue that, you know, as much as American horror movies overuse jump scares and slasher horror movie motifs, Japanese horror movies really rely on urban legends and curses and ghosts and demons and spirits and stuff like that. But even though Japanese horror has its own kind of set of motifs, I think they're done better, in my opinion, than American horror movies. And I'm not talking about like classic movies, not like The Exorcist, The Omen. I mean like modern day, like from the 80s onwards, like, you know, Friday the 13th, you know, Nightmare on Elm Street, which the first Nightmare on Elm Street I actually really do like, don't get me wrong, but you know, American horror movies, they're just cheesier, and sometimes they're well done, like The Omen and Exorcist, and Friday the first Nightmare on Elm Street. I'm not crazy about the Friday the 13th movies. I watched I watched a couple of them though. I watched like the first 7, 6. I had an old friend of mine who was really into them, and we binge watched a couple of them, across like 2 or 3 nights. The second one was good. Third one was actually pretty good. I liked the 5th one too a lot, actually. It was a decent movie. Not really scary, but it was better than the first one for sure. I don't like the first Friday the 13th. I'm sorry. I think it's dumb. No offense. Anyways, that's not about all that shit, but yeah, it's just a component to consider when you're talking about these classic Japanese horror movies, is that they're done really well, and yeah, they follow a motif, but it's done really good, so I don't have a problem. I really fucking don't. And hopefully by the time you guys all see this, you'll see the music, you'll see clips that I deem worthy. This will probably not go up on YouTube because, let's face it, YouTube has a copyright thing. This is a Japanese movie though, so maybe it won't be that bad, so maybe I will get up on YouTube. But regardless, if I do put it up on YouTube, I think I'm putting the old channel to rest, guys. I think we're gonna start fresh with a new YouTube channel, because I just don't think Pikman's kind of done. It's kind of, I mean, I'm still the character. I mean, I associate with it a lot, but you know, I might make a new character. I might make a new kind of personality here on the interwebs. I don't know, you know. Doesn't really matter to me. I can still introduce myself the same way. It's just, you know, more about making a new channel, new content, more stuff, more interesting stuff I'm currently interested in. And I love the game playthroughs. Don't get me wrong. I will still do them from time to time, but it's more important to me to, you know, do these kind of big projects. I really love the kind of the reviews, the commentary kind of stuff. I want to focus on more on that stuff now, guys. So don't mind that, and obviously stick around. Go to my Odyssey page. That's gonna be the main site from now on. I got the app on my computer. You know, download to the desktop and all that. Anyways, it's really good, and I hope you guys will enjoy this review whenever it comes up. Anyways, thank you all so much for bearing with me for this review of Ringu, the Japanese horror classic. I hope you guys all enjoyed, and I will see you all in my next review or commentary or whatever else I may do, even Let's Play eventually. Again, who knows? Just remember, everyone, that Ringu is a classic for a reason, and I hope I detailed it all for you here tonight. Take care, and do not look out the window because Sadako is most likely there. Bye!